Today we are going to do a brief overview of Google and how to navigate the Google interface and Google Drive specifically. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to sign into the account that you want to be in, or confirm that you're in the account that you want to work in, because you can have multiple Google accounts, as I do. So I look up here in this right corner and I see my profile picture. If I needed to change it, I would click on this and see where it says, sometimes this might be hidden, it will say show more accounts. And so I'm going to show those accounts and choose the one that I want to work in. If I don't see it here, then I can simply add another account. And it also gives you the option to sign out of all accounts if you wanted to do that. But I'm in the account that I want to be in, so I'm going to go ahead and X out of this. And then I'm going to skip over to the left here to this set of 9 dots, this grid of dots here. And I'm going to click on this. And this reveals all the different apps and services that I have under the account I'm working under. So what I want to do is I want to go right to Google Drive. You'll see that you might be presented with files and folders right away. You have a navigation bar on your left, and the main things that you want to keep in mind here is that you're going to have what's called My Drive, and that is your private drive to this particular account. And then you're going to have shared drives, which are shared hard drives that maybe other accounts have shared with you and you have shared access to. I only have one shared account right now, or one shared drive on this particular account. And I've got a folder and a couple of files in My Drive. So let's click on a file. These are care instructions that I had written out for my dog a while back. And so I keep them here in my Google Drive. And when I select a file, then this bar on the right here reveals all the information about this file. It starts out with all the details, gives you a thumbnail view of what your file is. It tells you who has access to the file. So basically, I created it and have access to it. I'm the owner. And I set wide permissions so that way anybody that has a link to this file can have access to these care instructions, which I did because, again, I wanted to make sure that whoever was looking after my dog at any given time had access, but that access could be easily given to vets if she ever needed vet care, and the vet could see the details. I can manage access, which allows me to both apply and revoke access to a file. And I haven't placed any security limitations on this. And then it gives other basic file details, like how much storage this file takes up, who the owner is, the date that it was created, when it was modified, and I can add my own description of the file if I want as well. If I go over here to the Activity tab, this just gives the history of what actions have been taken on this file, if it's been edited, updated, that sort of thing. Going back to the line item, the file line item that I have selected, if I kind of hover over this, I am greeted with these icons for different things. Again, this is the share icon. share it with somebody, and also to it's another way to both share and manage your permissions on a file. I can download the file. I can go ahead and rename this file, or I can add a star to it, which just means that I might use that as a designation that it is the most recent version of something, or that it's a particularly important file, and so hopefully it comes up on the top in searches within my drive, and I can filter based on whether I've starred things or not. And then these three little buttons here are more actions that you can take, and if I click it, I can open the file, download the file, rename it, copy it, share it. I can organize it, which means that I can move it to another either file folder or to one of the shared drives if that's where it needs to go. I can get more file information on it if I wanted to, or I could go ahead and move it to trash if it's time to delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to organize this file. And these are all the different places that I could store it on my drive. I do want to put it on my drive. I want to create a new folder called Gracie. And I want to move the care instructions on my drive to Gracie. And you'll see Gracie popped up right here. And it's showing you the file path. And I'm going to click move. And now I can open up the folder for Gracie and see this document. Now, I'm going to just go back to the previous screen. When you look at folders and highlight and select a folder, you get similar information on folders that you do on actual files. So again, every folder has different permission levels based on what you set. So you could basically give a certain number of people access to the folder, but it may be that the items within the folder you only give additional access to other people for certain files and not others. So it can be very granular in terms of who has permission to access the files. And you can manage the access and add people's email addresses to give certain email addresses access. So if somebody has a Gmail account that you want to have access to a particular file or folder, you would type this in here and Google would send them a notification, and then they would have access. You can restrict your access so that way only people with access can open the link, as opposed to anybody with the link can open the file. And you can also just copy your link here and send that out to people. If we go back here to the left side, you'll see new. And if you click new, it comes up with all of these options. You can create a new folder. You can create, you can do a file or a folder upload. You can create new documents. And we'll get more into that in another tutorial, but I just wanted to show you that it was there and that's what it's for.